Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Come see your papa. If you need a pacifier, call me anytime. I'll try to be your satisfier. Oh. Vintage Bob Seger. I mean, just laying it right down for you. And that's the way things are on a Wednesday in Duval. Kind of like the second edition of Running and Ripping. Isn't tonight divorcee night? Isn't tonight the night that daddy gets the kids? Right? These spectacular Florida laws. Do you deal with getting the kids dropped off and the ex-wife says they're grounded? That was the greatest. They're in trouble. Oh, wait, I get to see them like once every 14 days and you expect me to ground them? Okay. Dads, have fun. Take them out for some ice cream. It's hot out there. Get them a Fresca. Moms, if you're on the prowl, let us know what's working tonight. We're always big on what's going on out there. I spend my Wednesdays, or I would, at the Blue Crab Crab House. Why wouldn't I? $1 steamed oysters every single Wednesday night at the Blue Crab Crab House. That's good tonight until 9 o'clock. But let us know what's going. We care. We do. We're a show that absolutely does care. No one is more interactive with listeners than Dylan Denmark and yours truly, the truth teller, Rick Ballou, each and every night, 6 to 8 on your home of the Jaguars. All right, we got a lot to do. Can you believe that we actually have a preseason football game tomorrow night in the NFL? NBC and Peacock will have it at 8. It's the Chargers and the Lions. And, of course, that is in Canton, Ohio. Jacksonville played in that game a couple of years ago when Tony Baselli was enshrined. Those who bet on preseason football, I'd love to hear your reasoning. I would. Let me start the conversation by saying you're a degenerate gambler. And if you can make money on preseason football, man, am I proud of you. All right, 1.5 points. Detroit is favored by over Los Angeles tomorrow night. Your total 32 and a hook, which just looks insanely low, right? I mean, aren't you looking at 32 and a half and say over, or do you play the old adage that is, if it looks low, play it low? Someone really going to bet on minus 32 and a half falling under tomorrow night? We'll see. That is the very latest, and it's going to make for, I think, somewhat of the start of an interesting preseason. Some quarterback jobs to be won all across the NFL. Of course, around here, all of the focus is on the Jaguars, and I'm going to get there in just a second. We are very excited about Friday night in a scrimmage. I'll do my first hour here, 6 to 7. Then we'll flip over to the Jaguars Radio Network, which is going to have the scrimmage for you. And I think it's going to be, a great watch. There are so many positions that, in my opinion, are not necessarily still available, but if you really consider that this football team is deeper than it was a year ago. And the competition, I mean, some guys who have been on this roster, some guys who have been part of the 53, for the last couple of years, those names are in doubt. You got younger, hungrier players who do not cost as much. And I think that will also figure into some things, particularly when you get deep into, let's say, special teams. All right, college football opening up all across the landscape. That does include down the road in Tallahassee, where Mike Norvell used the word desperation to talk about his team. I think, honestly, it's the best comment I've ever heard him make because he's dead on. He's telling the truth. It is a desperate time right now in Tallahassee, and everything needs to come together. We talk about the 6 new offensive linemen here. We talk about the 2 new rookie running backs here. We talk about the 2 new wide receivers here, the 2 new tight ends here, and how everything is about fixing this offense with new coaches, right? And a new head coach who's going to call plays, and Liam Cohen. Well, it's the same thing for Gus Malzahn now down in Tallahassee. 4/5 of his offensive line, transfers. Redshirt seniors, but transfers. Skill position guys. Maybe they're top 3 wide receivers. Transfers. Transfers have happened year after year at running back. So, you're able to put all this stuff together where it's not a full-time job, where it's not your, day in, day out, all of your attention is focused on football. You're still a student athlete. All right, and you're immature compared to professionals. There are things that are just as important, whether it's going out and chasing, whether it's having a good time with your friends, whether it's partying, no matter what it is. I mean, that's the difference, right? We see that 18 to 21-year-olds in college, then once they become professionals, you hope they mature just a little bit. But I actually am proud of Mike Norvell for admitting this. It is a desperate time at Florida State, and I don't know how he's going to survive this. I just don't. I think he's completely in over his head. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think it's a positive culture. I don't see anything right now that makes me feel good about what's happening with the program and, kicking the media out and doing what he did there. I went off on that yesterday. That's the wrong message. Okay? Don't blame the media, especially media there where every single one of them is a Florida State fan. Every one of them. I mean, look at on-beat media on college campuses. More than half of them are self-created fans who begin a podcast and begin a website. Some work, some don't. Some really take off and do particularly well. And with the dying breed, with the newspapers going away, you see guys who wrote for the Tallahassee Democrat or whatever it was, now all of a sudden working for these online websites. And this isn't only at Florida State. This is every single college football program. That's the way they're being built now. Okay? Have you ever gone to an SEC media day? Have you ever gone to an Atlantic Coast Conference media day? I mean, more than half the media is actually wearing the team cap or shirt or whatever it is while you're there doing interviews. So, that's the part of journalism that we've watched change. But you don't kick those folks out. Those folks are there to promote your team, help your team. I mean, we're not talking about spies who fake it. And, that same media was allowed to do everything when this team won 19 straight games. Now, to kick him out, it's the wrong message. But at least he admitted that they are desperate, because that certainly is that football team. I was looking at something earlier today. Jimmy Shapiro sent it to me. I don't know who he referenced here. Maybe I can find it again during the break. I always try to credit, speaking of journalism, I always try to credit information that I get. I don't try to make it my own. If I use someone else's material, I always credit who came forward with that. And I did see today that when you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay, their projection as far as points per game for this season is 22.9. All right, I really sat back. I sat back on the chair. I think I put my feet up and really sipped the coffee, and I was like, 22.9. Is that enough? Is that enough to win the AFC South? They were 18.8 a year ago. They were awful. They were absolutely miserable a year ago. 18.8 points per game. 26th in pro football. All right? It was more than discouraging. If you go from 18.8 a game and you take it to the projection of 22.9, that's an improvement of 4.1 points a game. Now, on the surface, that doesn't necessarily sound like a lot, right? Adding 4.1 points in total points scored per game over a 17-game season. And that would be wrong. It is. It's a significant improvement. So I asked myself, would I take it? And I'm going to ask you, would you take it? If I just gave it to you right now and said you're going to score 22.9 points a game. Again, you're about 4.1 points a game. You were 4-13. You lost 10 games by a touchdown or less. You lost 4 games by a field goal or less. We can go through all of that. Would you take 22.9? I wouldn't. I want a little bit more. I want a 5-point improvement. I want to go from 18.8 to 23.8. Okay, so we're fighting here over 0.9 of a point, but still, that means a whole heck of a lot when you average it out game by game through the course of 17 contests. But I want to begin this tonight because I'm going to make my way to a Tank Bigsby comment he made a night ago and then really dive into the rushing offense because I think it's fascinating. But let's begin with that right there. 22.9, Jaguar fans. Yes or no? Are you with me? You want more? And I'm not, listen, I don't expect him to go from 18.8 to all of a sudden, averaging 26.5 a game or 27 a game. I mean, I just don't think that's realistic in year one. But I do think 4.1 points is a fairly good number. In other words, they believe that this thing is going to get better. But again, I would like just a smidge more. I want to go from 4.1 to 5. I say no to the 22.9. I want to take it from 18.8 to 23.8 points a game, so an even 5 points. Let us know what you think. 641-1010 text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. If you want to get in with that, we'll start with those particular numbers. Also, let's welcome those watching tonight on YouTube. You can go to 1010XL into the night. You taking 22.9, Dylan Denmark?
22.9 a year ago would have you 14th in the league. I would take being in the top half of the league right now for points per game.
There you go. There you have it. I'm being a little stubborn, trying to go from 4.1 to 5 points a game. But you and I have had this conversation 2 or 3 times during the offseason about what we honestly thought that this football team could get to. So, again, this is fascinating in my opinion, and we do welcome you to come on in and join us on the conversation. All right, so we got a lot to do tonight. I mean, this is a great night in Duval. It really is. We're getting ready to say goodbye to July. I mean, this is just crazy. We have today and we have tomorrow. Today would have been my dad's 88th birthday. My goodness, he passed, I think it was June 9th. So this is, the first time I haven't spoken to him on his birthday. I know they're having a huge celebration at his bar out at the Landing in Tampa, where my brother and his 2 daughters, his wife, they're there for it. But I miss him very much, and this is the first time he's had a birthday where I haven't had an opportunity to get with him. And so it's, it's an interesting day, interesting night for me. I'm going to carry on as he would want me to. But I've heard from a lot of people today who've lost their fathers, and it's difficult. It is. There's no other way to explain it. As I said the day that I lost him, if you are in a battle with your family, you're holding a grudge, try to see your way through that, because if something happens and you were never able to tell them that you love them, you're never able to tell them how you feel because you're stubborn, because you're in a battle, I would hate for you to take that with you. Okay, that was not the case with my dad. Never. We got along wonderfully. I loved him and, held him for his final breath, but told him to go. And I think that makes a world of difference. I really believe that. But anyway, just my opinion to you. Tonight's show brought to you by Shamunez Vision. All right. Really good people here in town. People who care about you and that is easily said, but it doesn't always transpire when you get to a particular practice. That is absolutely the case at Shmunez Vision. Dr. Neo Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Okay, you're talking about far more than 30 years worth of experience when it comes to surgery, whether it's a want, like laser eye surgery, whether it's a need, something that unfortunately has to happen, refractive surgery, cataract surgery. And isn't it great to be able to sit down and talk to the doctor who's actually going to perform the surgery? There are some practices where you'll be appointed a surgery counselor. Never at Shmunez Vision. You talk to the individuals, those three who perform surgery. Check out everything. Just go to Shmunez Vision. That is online. You can also go to Instagram and get the very latest as far as testimonials from the good people who are fans of Shmunez Vision. All right, this is a great night, and we got a lot to do. The Jaguars rested today, as we know. Back at it tomorrow morning. All right, be an interesting day to see if Travis Hunter's on defense. That is my feeling. That is my understanding. I also wonder, will they be in full pads tomorrow? Will they hit tomorrow, or is it going to be a little bit more of a kind of a glorified walkthrough, if you will, before Friday night scrimmage? I don't know, but we'll be able to figure that out. That'll be tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. And then, of course, Friday night, the scrimmage at the stadium. All right, we got lots to do. Let's begin with that question. 18.8 points a year ago scored by the Jaguars offense. A projection is out that has them going all the way up to 22.9, an improvement of 4.1 points. Dylan would take it. I want him to get up to 23.8. That's 5 points. What are your thoughts? 641-1010 text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube, 1010XL into the Knights.
1010XL.
We move forward starting right now. We start becoming a team right now.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Make a statement this summer with luxury. Experience the art of progress at Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville. Choose the sleek and powerful G70 or the versatile and refined GV80 SUV that's designed to elevate your journey. Enjoy exclusive summer offers and flexible financing. Showroom on Atlantic Boulevard or learn more at genesisofnortheastjacksonville.com. For all life's journeys, Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Jacksonville is here. Welcome to the family. Offer subject to change. See dealer for details.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione Law.
After our son's shoulder issues were worsening, we took him to see Dr. Snyder at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, who recommended PRP treatment. We trusted Dr. Snyder's evaluation and look forward to seeing him pitch again. For the right care, the best care, we highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach pontoon boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This summer, you can beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The 2025 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers Saturday, August 9th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field for the first time this season, and grab your tickets for a 7 p.m. kickoff by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you soon, Jags fans.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I have to brag about my kids' success again. My daughter's success, thanks to our friends at Awaken 180. Now, you know my daughter Amber, as I've been telling you, has been trying to drop some weight for a while. Couldn't really find the right means. Well, she's now been in the Awaken 180 program for close to a month, and you ready for this? She's dropped over 30 pounds. That's right, the number is real. 30 pounds in close to a month. That's with no shots, nothing extreme, just the right plan, the right food, proper coaching, all from the folks at Awaken 180. She already said it's affected her mobility, just her life in general. Man, she is happy. And that means her mother and I are happy too, I can promise you that. So if you're ready to kickstart your transformation, call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Get started on your weight loss journey. Call them today at Awaken 180.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
If the sun ain't shining bright and the moon will shine for you tonight.
I feel a lot of movement tonight. I can just feel
the stars in the sky go away.
The hunt is on during that divorcee evening. And in doubt, use these Bob Seger lyrics. I can't see how it could possibly fail. Here we go. Write them down, folks.
Come to Papa. Come see your Papa.
It just hits, you know? What did today's kids call it? It's vibing.
Yeah, the vibes.
Yeah.
Vibes are high.
Vibe to some 1977. Bob Seger. And there you go. All right, getting a lot of stuff in. 18.8 points. Every time I look at that, my blood boils. I mean, just again, a total, complete lack of professionalism. To be zombies when the game begins, to not be able to score in the first quarter, to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Every time you get the ball, the offense was not involved ever at 1 p.m. The defense was. Offense wasn't. And to think that only 6 times last year, 6 the Jaguars actually began their drive on their opponent's side of the football field. Think about that for a moment. And a lot of that is because they couldn't take the ball away. They were last in takeaways. They've worked an awful lot about that so far early on in practice. That is evident under Anthony Campanelli that, taking the football away is going to be a big part of what this defense is going to do in this, what we believe is going to be a heavy zone with the vision-based, being able to keep your eyes on the quarterback type of style of defense that we are going to run. Okay, we got a lot to do. I want to tell you tonight's show brought to you by Alexander Law Practice. All right, we just heard thunder here, so it's probably getting ready to storm. Once again, it's very difficult, as we know nowadays, driving. It just feels like you have to be so defensive because individuals out there are very careless when it comes to driving. Now, if you've been injured and you're up against it right now, you have a car that's totaled, you can't pay bills, you can't get to work, you may be all alone. Let me tell you, that's not the case. Alexander Law Practice. Free call, free consultation. You have nothing to lose. Let me repeat, it's a free consultation. You can answer any question or ask any question that you may have at 400-6600. Okay? You're going to get an immediate callback. And then you're going to get individualized attention. And your car repairs, talk to the folks at Alexander Law Practice. Bills that need to be paid, talk to the folks at Alexander Law Practice. You'll never come out of pocket. And obviously, the reimbursement and everything that comes to you will be at the very end of the process. But why wouldn't you take advantage of it? So go to Alexander Law Practice, or again, for a free consultation, just give them a call at 400-6600. Let's get to Tank Bigsby. He said this yesterday when I had an opportunity to talk with him after Tuesday's practice at the Miller Electric Center.
Explosive that we wanted to, through the grace of God. The sky's the limit. We just have to come out and be where our feet at today. So when that time comes, that's when we got to be ready for it. But right now, we just got to keep building on what we've started.
All right. I asked him about how explosive this offense can be. As we know, it was anything but a season ago. And we began the conversation tonight talking about how much can they improve offensively in points scored per game. Again, the projection out there goes from 18.8 to 22.9. Dylan says that's fine. That would put him at 14th in the NFL. I want an extra point, if you will, or just under a point. I want to take it to 23.8, which would be an improvement of 5 a game. Much easier said than done. Everything needs to come together. When we get to the offense, there are far more questions than answers. However, there feels like there is an enormous amount of speed on this football team. Far more speed than there was a year ago. And arguably, this is the fastest football team that the Jaguars have had in 31 years of existence. I think we all, when you think offense, you think Trevor and you think Brown. And, you think about Travis Hunter, and you think about Brian Thomas Jr., and you think about passing the football and moving the football down the field. Liam Cohen is a big believer in running the football. And I know that is not as popular in a lot of circles because you want, the home run hitter, you want the long touchdown pass, and I get it. I mean, it's great to see. But running the football changes everything. I mean, just think about how important that is and how disappointing that has been around here now for a number of years. And, it's not necessarily all because of the running backs. The offensive line has been just terrible, and that has been most evident in short yardage, right? 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. What was it, 2 years ago? Travis Etienne led the NFL in broken tackles. He along with the running backs in 2023, 25% of the carries, 25%, they were hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage or prior to the line of scrimmage. I'm not talking about 10%, 12%, 25%. Again, that is a total embarrassment. So where is this football team when it comes to running the football? Last year, 414 carries, 1,729 yards, an average of 4.2. Tank Bigsby had a good year, 168 for 766. That's an average of 4.6. It was not a good year for Travis Etienne, 150 for 558, an average of 3.7. Projection this year, Tank, 650 and a half yards for the season. I'm going over. I'm going way over. Okay? Even though we have all this Tootin talk, and we've seen as of late what the rookie Allen has really done the last couple of practices. Tank Bigsby, 650.4 yards. I expect him absolutely to get the majority of the carries and go over. 4.5 touchdowns, over. ETN, 500, wouldn't touch it. Because I think you can write a script either way for Travis Etienne. I think you can write it that he begins as your starter against Carolina and really settles into this offense with Liam Cohen, but ends up being perhaps more productive in the screen game and receiving than he does rushing. You could do all of that up to the point that the Jaguars struggle and he's traded, mid-season. Before the deadline. Anything is believable right now, in my opinion, for ETN. But let's get to what's most important here. That's Liam Cohen. Okay? That's the desire, that is the want, and that is the importance of being able to run the football. Last year, before Liam Cohen got to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers were worst in the NFL when it came to rushing. Okay? He took them in 1 year from 32nd to 4th. Look at what this team did a year ago. 483 carries compared to the 414 for Jacksonville. 2,536 yards rushing. Okay? An average of 5.3. Again, Jacksonville, 1,729, an average of 4.2. Combination of the rookie Bucky Irvin and Rashad White, okay? Over 1,750 yards rushing alone by your top two backs. This, to me, these numbers right here are so incredibly important. If Jacksonville can get close to those type of numbers, for us to just sit here and project that they're going to go from 1,700 yards to 2,536 yards in one season, I think is is wishful thinking. Now, we know how dynamic this offense was. Baker Mayfield was second in touchdown passes with 41. Baker Mayfield was the best red zone quarterback in the NFL. It wasn't Mahomes. It wasn't Burrow. It wasn't Allen. It wasn't Hurts. It wasn't Goff. It wasn't. It was Baker Mayfield, okay? Go to a bar, sit down, talk to someone. Baker and Trevor and Baker. There's not a person alive that is going to argue and say that Trevor does not have better God-given ability than Baker, that Trevor doesn't have the natural gifts that Baker does not have. Baker has some very important traits. He's a phenomenal leader. Okay? The players love him. If Baker Mayfield was concussed, that Buccaneer team would have gone freaking crazy on Houston. All right? You wouldn't have had a couple of guys going through the motions and this and that, a head coach who, had his hands between his armpits and, got on Jarian Jones after about how he had to talk to him. It was awful. It was really, really bad. It was a terrible look for the Jaguar. If that happened to Baker Mayfield, do you have any idea what the Buccaneer team would have done? Okay, so Baker's got that. They love him. They want to play hard for him. He's a blue-collar worker. All right, Trevor is, it feels like, it's the silver spoon. It's almost like a PGA Tour golfer. He's elite. He's been incredible at everything he's ever done. And again, I still can't figure out why the team didn't defend him a year ago. To me, it just boggles my mind. But no one's going to argue about the talent. Desire, want, all of that certainly will come into play. But this is where Liam Cohen comes in. This is where it really gets fun. What is this team going to be able to do? Consistently running the football. Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. Tell you right now, you look at position groups, and I read all those preseason rankings. I read everything. You know, I saw Jacksonville like 26th and some stuff. You know how I feel about lists. And I've been burnt before. There's been training camps here forever where running backs have looked really good during the month of July and August. But right now, this feels like a strong position group. You got a guy in Travis Etienne who so many are counting out. You got a guy in Tank Bigsby who I think he believes he can become, you know, a top 15 back, top 12 back in the NFL. Both rookies, even the Jackson kid the last couple of days is running well. The other comfort here, and I know I overuse this, and I do it simply because I thought it was the best part of the Liam Cohen introduction press conference, okay? He coming out talking about the zone style of rushing and then switching to gap when pads went on spoke volumes of the importance of what this football team has to do. It was echoed about a month later when James Gladstone was brought in as the general manager. He said it differently, as he's always going to do, just his vocabulary and way of describing things. Tony Baselli in the building, more than in the building, you know. He's the executive vice president of the football team. The importance of running the football. I remember talking to Baselli when he was a player. I remember talking to Leon Searcy when he was a player. You ask any one of these players, they always love running the football more than pass block. Running the football is easier on offensive linemen. You get lathered up, you tire down your defense, and you take control of the game. Pass blocking is obviously a tougher procedure. Now, I would never be able to figure that out or understand that. But this has been told to me year after year after year after year by several people. So that's where you are. And that's the number right there. It's not a hidden number. I think it's an undervalued number. I think it's not getting enough attention. It's very simple to say this team needs to run the football, right? But when you look at the numbers, there has to be a good feeling here. The way that Liam Cohen and the lack of stubbornness changed the offensive blocking scheme. Just like that, he changed it. You know how many hard-headed people there are in the NFL that believe they have the correct system and that it's up to the players to learn it and run it? He did what was best with the talent he had. And he had a magnificent offensive line in Tampa. The offensive line here is not magnificent. The offensive line here is certainly under the microscope. But that's what it comes down to right there. 1,700 yards and a 4.2 average to 2,536 yards and an average of 5.3. And again, two running backs, and Irving and White, went over 1,750 yards rushing one season ago. You know, you compare that to around here, it was about just over 1,200 yards rushing for Tank and Etienne. And that's a lot, no doubt. That's 500-plus yards over the turn of a 17-game season. You know, he also improved the rushing offense last year in Tampa Bay by actually, I'll leave that alone. Let's get to this break. I've made my point, and I want to get some feedback from you. 641-1010. That is the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also get us on YouTube. Go to 1010XL into the night.
Tom McManus buckles his chin strap as he joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl for the new Helmets and Heels.
I just love a man in uniform.
Catch the pros' point of view afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
This is Jennifer Marion at Randy Marion Cadillac. Are you ready to drive away today in luxury? Then you should check out Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville.
Discover our luxurious lineup with over 100 Cadillacs to choose from, including the stunning Cadillac IQ, Lyric, Optique, and Vistique.
And here's something important. The $7,500 tax credit on EV vehicles will be gone in just 90 days.
That's right. Don't miss your chance to save while driving in style.
Visit us at Randy Marion Cadillac.
Plus tax tag, Title 999 admin fee, and resist all on approved credit.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold's recently hit an all-time high at over $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 30th, 1978, the Expos crushed the Braves 19-0, collecting 28 hits and an NL record tying 8 home runs.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
It all comes down to Daytona and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 22nd and 23rd. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Wawa 250, powered by Coca-Cola. Friday night, August 22nd. Who was on the pole position for last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Wawa 250, powered by Coca-Cola, August 22nd.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Denny Thompson here. Look, don't get left in the dark. We're all trying to reason with hurricane season, so at least be prepared. For top-of-the-line generators in Jacksonville, I turn to Tyson. Licensed pros at Tyson deliver reliable, whole-home standby generators and provide fast repair service. They even do custom installations for local businesses, so don't wait. Ensure seamless installation and peace of mind. Call Tyson now, 904-762-1000 for a free estimate on generator services. TysonInc.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I want to get to some of your comments because at 7 o'clock, John Oehser joins me. Also have a guest next hour as well with Raphael Esparza as we check the money in Las Vegas. 3800 says Ballou, there's nothing better than matriculating up the field via the run. Yes, no doubt about that. One of the great comments historically said in the history of the NFL. 80-25, 22.6 was the number to get to the playoffs last season. I would be more comfortable at 24 points a game this year. Okay, very interesting. That's what Dylan said. 22.9 would have been top 14 in the NFL. I'm looking for just a little bit more. Am I being too greedy? Perhaps. 0981 Blue, I just be happy if we don't go 0-4. That was unreal. Disrespectful and disgusting to the fans. A slap in the face. Can't agree with you more. Total lack of professionalism a year ago. Outside of Miami and the ETN fumble and the 14-point swing, that football team and that coaching staff a year ago just looked at you and laughed. They said, we're not even going to give you a taste. We're not even going to allow you to enjoy a touchdown drive and a lead. It was the complete lack of elation. I've never seen anything like it. And again, it was a franchise that accepted losing. No wonder Baselli and Gladstone came in here and blew that thing totally up. Got to get the feet wet. Yada, yada, yada. Appreciate that. 1366. What is it? What did the average playoff team score per game? That's the number I want. We just shared that with you. 22.6 was the number that actually came in again. 63-51. Can we get 16 into the top 30? Oh, no. Not enough. How many games do we lose? Less than 4 points. Trevor Lawrence needs to consistently become a top 10 quarterback this year. He's not. And it's very subjective. But I think you can also just give it the eye test and start, ripping off names. I think for Trevor, top 10 this year. By next year, can he become a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? If so, then he is becoming elite. And the definition of elite to me is fascinating. How many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks do we have right now that are defined as elite? Right? I mean, Patrick Mahomes. Is Jalen Hurts elite? Is Matt Stafford elite? Is Russell Wilson elite? Is Joe Flacco elite? Aaron Rodgers certainly was. There's no argument there. Russell Wilson was. Russell Wilson should have won 2 Super Bowls. Stafford's a pretty good argument. But Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those are probably the 3 best. They haven't won a Super Bowl. Pretty interesting stuff. Let's see. Let's continue on here. 50-33, Ballou haven't played the offensive line in high school, yada, yada, yada. Running the football is easier because you're going forward than backwards. Okay, yeah. Yep, absolutely. Appreciate that. 53-54, 0-4 2000 start, 1-6 2003 finish, Rick. Great shot, yada, yada. Yeah. This football team has lost what? What is it, 19 of the last 23? I mean, I had it written down the other day. I don't know what the heck I did.
That sounds right.
I think that's it. Oh, wait. They won 4 games a year ago. Did they lose them all at the tail end of the season?
They won one game against Carolina. Those last 5 or 6 to end 2023.
Yeah. I mean, this is a franchise that, and, this is not something that I say often out of respect for those who play it. You lose a lot of games because the opponent is better. And God knows we've seen that around here. Okay, that Mike Mularkey team was terrible. The early Gus Bradley teams were terrible. Doug Marrone, we've seen some really, really, really bad teams. But it's another thing to be competitive, but then fall short due to game plan, play calling, execution. And that was one of the most bothersome things that I can think of a year ago. And at that point, that would have been year 30 of this organization. Okay? That, to me, is one of the biggest points of view and discussions that had to have taken place before the hiring of Cohen and before the hiring of Gladstone. This football team, again, they accepted losing. And that is so bad. That is so awful. I've seen players do it. Leonard Fournette's one of the greatest examples. And I travel with the team on the plane, and Leonard Fournette, man, you could win 30-0, or you could lose 30-0. And with Leonard Fournette, damn it, you had no idea if they won or lost. He just didn't care. And that's probably one of the reasons why he's out of the league. I know he did some nice things in Tampa, but come on, he was a role player. That image has to change. You want to see guys who are hurting when they lose. At least 10 minutes after the game when you're in the locker room interviewing them. If they get over it by Sunday night, fine. Turn the page. We're pros. Yeah, whatever. That's a big-time job there by that entire building. And that's why you have 47 new players unofficially on this roster. John Oehser is coming up at 7 o'clock. He is the senior writer at Jaguars.com.
Rick Ballou is the truth teller.
Tell the truth. That's all. Just tell the truth.
Go into the night with Rick Ballou after the Frangie Show. Then it's Hacker After Dark.
Between him and me.
Ballou and Hacker. Evenings on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Okay, for this Cannons of Jacksonville commercial, we need an idea to really come out with a bang.
Like having a guy shot out of a cannon.
Nah, too messy. In fact, Cannons is known for all your towing needs.
So like my car won't start.
No. Towing products. Cannons does custom welding fabrication and installation of trailer hitches, goosenecks, tow bars, truck racks.
So you might say Cannons is my best shot at finding that inventory in stock?
Boom. You said it.
Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Your home is your sanctuary where memories are made. Jack's homeowners trust Superior Fence and Rail to make their home feel safe, secure, and complete. Imagine a classic wood fence for privacy, sturdy aluminum to protect your pets, or a modern vinyl design that boosts curb appeal. Every fence is built with precision and pride, standing strong in every season.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. You're on-road, you're off-road, now you're on the water. Greg, tell everybody what Coach and Honda is offering in the form of boats.
We've got the Honda boat, which is a great runabout fisherman. We've got the Coach boats. They're fantastic for getting out with a family. Nice lay-down beds, all with that legendary Honda motor on.
Check them all out. They're waiting for you. You can see how you can be on the water with Honda or with Coach pontoon boats. Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Did you know that for every inch of rain on a 2,000 square foot roof, 1,500 gallons come off the eaves of the roof? Call Clearwater Seamless Gutters and Drainage, and we'll design a plan using our Clearwater Seamless Gutters, and we'll connect those gutters to a Clearwater drainage system to solve your erosion and standing water issues.
Clearwater Seamless Gutters. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at gutters. And drainage, too.
SeamlessGuttersJacksonville.com.
I'm Brendan with Checkmate Coating. Pool decks, driveways, garages, patios, we coat them all to make your neighbors jealous.
Checkmate Coatings. Your floor's missing piece.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh No's.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Served up by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This makes you want to get out on the dance floor. It does. Maybe we can put together a dance-off with the Jacksonville local media one of these days. Maybe do that the week after they win a Super Bowl. What do you think, Dylan? That'd be kind of fun.
The night of the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? Everybody be liquored up then.
My money's on Oehser, senior writer at Jaguars.com. Hello, John.
Hey, Rick, I'll tell you, I know he's no longer in the media because he's retired, but having attended Gene Frenette's wedding in 91, I believe it was, don't count him out.
Okay.
Don't count him out.
Who else? Who else in the local media do you think would be the best when it comes to performing on the dance floor?
Well, Ryan O'Halloran's coming back, Rick.
There you go.
Maybe he throws his hat in the ring.
I love Ryan O'Halloran. I had him over in my bar quite a bit to watch hockey back in the day. And, I'd be drinking the Irish whiskey, and O'Halloran would always bring, like, chocolate brownies or something like that. I mean, he's got a great sweet tooth. But, yeah, I mean, I think we're all excited about the return of Ryan O'Halloran. All right, what do you think tomorrow? Is it going to be a full padded practice where they're hitting again, or do you think they calm things down a little bit in preparation for the scrimmage on Friday?
I think if lean in a direction, I think they'll calm things down in terms of hitting, but not calm things down in terms of the pace.
Yep.
So that would be my guess. I don't know that for sure. It's a different age than what we grew up in the NFL, right? Like in the old days, you hit 4 or 5 times in a row, didn't think twice about it. It's about saving the body now. I thought, frankly, they hit harder starting out on Monday. Was the first day in pads. I thought the last 2 days were, it's hard to really gauge. They hit that much more than they hit last year. But I thought they hit more. They ran early yesterday. Definitely it seemed like Liam Cohen wanted to set a tone, physicality, and we're going to work on the run, and the run's going to matter to it. Yeah. So I think they got it. It wouldn't surprise me in light of that if they didn't hit tomorrow much and then kind of came back Thursday and Sunday with some more work. Because all of a sudden, Rick, you're into preseason week 1 next week.
There's no doubt. Pacing. Yeah, you got a preseason game tomorrow night. A game we were at a few years ago when Tony Baselli was enshrined into the Hall of Fame in Columbus, Ohio. Tomorrow night, Chargers and Lions. Okay, with no tackling, I've always been really interested with this. You talk about the tone setter Monday, Monday. I thought the backs did a really good job, particularly, ETN and Tank with some big runs. Can you get a good feel for that? Were holes opening, but you understand what I'm saying? They're not tackling. How different would that be if this was old school football?
Well, I actually thought yesterday for a couple of the run periods, they were getting about as close to tackling as you could be and not be tackling to the ground. I mean, they did a great job staying up. But, again, it felt more like the real running game than any of the practices out. Doug had a couple of practices the last couple of years where he would go live for a few minutes, right? But for the most part, there was not this level. I felt, I guess it was Monday where I really felt like they were getting some holes that would have been there either way. And that again, yesterday, there were a few runs where you thought, okay, sometimes when you're writing plays down like I do, you sort of put a little like squiggly line next to it of, realistically, would that have been a 20-yard run? Yeah, I'll throw it on the website as a 20-yard run, but probably not a 20-yard run. I thought most of the runs we saw in the early team stuff where they were really working on the run, I thought they would have translated pretty well. I think they felt good about the way the offensive line run blocked, during what by any measure is still a getting used to each other phase.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. And then we saw, later in that Monday practice, I thought Trayvon Walker was the best player on the field. He became dominant, midway through and then certainly later, including some one-on-one battles.
Yeah, people get tired of hearing me say that. I think he's the best player on the team, and I thought that for really a couple of years, just in terms of, you don't always see it in the stats, but his ability to dominate people who he's playing against and to push, linemen back, stop the run, all that. I know BTJ is the bigger star, but Trayvon's the guy this team knows it can rely on. I thought the same as you. I always hesitate to draw super conclusions from early practices, but I've had a couple of people tell me on the sideline, boy, Trayvon just looked like he's the dominant player on the field. And does that translate to games? For him, it usually does. So, again, I'm a big Trayvon Walker fan. I love the kid personally. I like the way he plays. I think he's going to have a monster year this year.
John Oehser, our guest. The Jaguars off today, back at it tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. Of course, John is the senior writer at Jaguars.com. Get all of the info from John and his staff there at Jaguars.com. LeQuint Allen, boy, it seems like no matter where he goes, there's activity that follows. I'm not going to call him the NFL's version of Brad Marchand, but what's going on there? I mean, there's a lot of stuff kind of after the fact. I admire this out of the rookie.
Yeah, he's got guts. He believes he belongs, or he certainly plays like he believes he belongs. And from the day after the draft around the building, I kept hearing, hey, this guy is here for a reason. I mean, they love Tootin, but they believe both of these backs are going to matter. And this kid's tough. This kid's not going to back down from anybody. It's fun to watch that. And, you sort of like rookies who believe that they belong. The running back position, Rick, these guys don't have that long to play in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah. It's usually a 4 or 5 year career. It certainly seems in the first couple of practices like LeQuint's going to take advantage of all the days that he has, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you bring up an interesting point. I mean, look at Leonard Fournette. He disappears in that same draft. Dalvin Cook. I mean, a couple of years ago, he was one of the best backs in the league. He can't even find a roster spot now. I mean, it's not a long career as a tailback.
No, and getting back to Allen, though, they really they like him a lot. And he caught a lot of passes at Syracuse. He can pass block. He's a really versatile player. And sometimes these guys get drafted, somebody at a position gets drafted ahead of you, meaning they brought in Tootin, right? Everybody talks about him all training camp. I've been writing and saying for a couple of months, LeQuint Allen, I would be really surprised if he doesn't play a lot for the Jaguars this year. They have plans for him, and they think he's going to be a factor.
All right, I'm on record here, and I did it a few months ago. I said if this team is going to turn around, the biggest 180 on the defense needs to be made this year by Eric Armstead, who obviously is coming off of a very disappointing season. We know he's going to be strictly playing the interior defensive line. What are your thoughts on the way that the camp is gone for him, a veterans camp? We've seen just a couple of times where he's actually been involved in team 11 on 11. He's not working there.
Yeah, it's interesting. They sort of did the same thing last year. He didn't practice a whole lot early. I guess I don't worry about that with him. Maybe it's just a leap of faith. I feel like I know what he's going to be if he's playing on the interior. I don't expect him to be a Pro Bowler. I expect him to help and be a huge improvement, and to be a very solid, at worst, a solid NFL defensive tackle. So it does strike you as an 11th year guy who probably knows his own body and knows how he has to get ready. I guess what I'm saying is, you probably have to trust that, because if you don't, then you don't know what he's going to be. I'd rather see him on the field, obviously, and playing, but I also lean toward thinking if he's out there by the first preseason game or the second, he's been doing this 11 years. I feel like he'll be fine as long as he gets reps in at the end. And I hope there's not egg on my face saying that later.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just trusting the body of work and hoping that last year was an aberration. So there's a little bit of leap of faith there saying that.
6 practices in as far as training camp. How have things gone, in your opinion, so far for Trevor Lawrence?
I think fine. I mean, I don't think he's been spectacular, but I don't think they care about him being spectacular yet, as long as he looks like he knows what he's doing out there. And the vibe that I get is that he does. I thought the other day, maybe it was Monday, during the situational where they were running 45-second at the end of practice, he had a really nice pass to De'Ami Brown. It was a big-time pass that you thought, okay, that would happen during the game. That's what I try to look for in training camp, are moments that you say, okay, that would translate. I think he's looked okay, hasn't made mistakes. He's still learning footwork stuff. He's still getting used to some things. I don't want spectacular. I want him to look like he knows what he's doing in this scheme. And I feel like if he does that, the spectacular will come. So I've been okay with it. I've been waiting for that day where I could really write about him and say, hey, this was great. That hasn't happened yet. But it feels like there's a pretty methodical improvement and methodical play going on. And I think it's okay for what he's trying to do.
Yeah. John, let's wrap with Friday night. More of a situational type of scrimmage? Is it going to be, a regular scrimmage for a while? What are your expectations?
Yes, it tends these days to usually go where they have something close to live football for a couple of quarters, and I kind of sense that's what it'll be. It's never a 60-minute thing. It's never as much as fans always want to see sort of real football. And I think you'll see some glimpses of that. I think you'll see enough to sort of wet the palate, if you will. I would think you'll see about a half not tackle to the ground. They don't want to get anybody hurt. But I think you'll see sort of what we saw in that Monday period I'm talking about, where I think fans seeing it will be impressed that this is a little more physical than what they saw in training camp under Doug. I think that's a little bit of the difference. They're willing to hit. I think Liam knows you've got to have some real stuff or something close to real stuff to get ready for the real stuff.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. He is John Oehser, senior writer at Jaguars.com. Again, go there and get to all of his reports along with his staff. John, I'll see you tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center.
Look forward to it, Rick. Thanks, buddy.
There he goes. Good stuff, John Oehser. Do appreciate it. Yeah, that's you hear him. You hear the term bubble wrap, and this is where second guessing always comes in, right? The greatest second guessers in the world are fourth down. I mean, how many people do you know go for it, go for it, go for it? Why do they go for it? I mean, everyone second guesses fourth down, but this is a very intriguing part of it all. I mean, just look at camp. You got guys going down left and right, all across the league. The Jaguars have a couple of guys banged up right now. You want them to play real football, but the back of your mind is the risk of getting injured. So this will be pretty intriguing. And, how do you say that to guys that are fighting for a starting spot, guys who are fighting for a roster spot? To pull up, that's hard when you are a professional. It absolutely is. So that'll be a part of it. Again, I'll be with you on Friday night from 6 until 7. And then at 7 o'clock, we're going to go to the Jaguars Radio Network and cover the scrimmage. Again, I don't know all of the particulars, but I believe you have to register, right, Dylan? You have to go to Jaguars.com to register to get in?
Yeah, you have to do it through your Ticketmaster account, but if you go to Jaguars.com, there's a link. You have to do it through your Ticketmaster account, and tickets are free.
Yeah, the gates open at 5:30, but the scrimmage begins at 7. And I know that because I'm on the air 6 to 7. So it'll be a good Friday night, and hopefully we'll will learn something. Again, the Jaguars did not have a practice today. It's their mandatory, collectively bargained 1 day off a week, and they'll be at it tomorrow morning. And then, again, Friday night will be time for the scrimmage. All right, we got much more to do. Let's get you back involved with the program here. Got a little bit of college ball I do want to mention, but if you have some Jaguar questions, certainly I'll get to them as well. 2 ways to reach us, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also, you can go to YouTube, where I'm jealous here. My buddy CRS 092 says on Friday night he's seeing Tedeschi trucks at Red Rocks. Wow. That is, I saw, his brother last year when I was out there, his brother was playing with Widespread Panic at Red Rocks. So I keep going back and forth with Derek. Last week he was, when Ozzy passed, I asked him if he had ever gotten with Ozzy Osbourne before. He said he hadn't. His wife, Susan Tedeschi, had met Ozzy, but they were pulling up fish at Key West. So they tore a ton. They just tore a ton. And they'll be coming here to St. Augustine in the early part of the fall as well. All right, we got much more to do. That'll include Raphael Esparza. We'll check the money live from Las Vegas coming up in about 25 minutes.
Another sizzling summer on the First Coast. The sun of sunshine. Keep cool with 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. From estate cleanouts to furniture and appliance removal, we handle it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Who says there's no free lunch? Join me, Prosser, and Jaguar and Gator legend Fred Taylor for free food and football talk Friday, August 8th at the Alhambra Theater. When you hear this...
Bye-bye! Brock Berry and Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
Be caller 28 to win a pair of tickets to a free lunch with Fred. Doors open at 11. Jags talk, Gators talk, football talk, including a 1-hour Q&A with Freddie T, and we're buying your lunch. Stay tuned for this sound to win your tickets.
Bye-bye! Brock Berry and Dill chasing a 90-yard run.
Courtesy of Jenkins Hyundai and Genesis of Jacksonville on Atlantic.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water at my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 28, 1993, Ken Griffey Jr. became the third player to home run in 8 consecutive games. The first two, Dale Long and Don Mattingly.
A new era of women's professional soccer has arrived. The Gainbridge Super League, redefining the game for the next generation. Sporting Jacks, the first ever pro women's team on the First Coast. Be there for history. Secure your tickets now at sportingjacks.com.
Hello, all you Jacksonville sports fans. Don here from Taco Lou. If you're in the mood for some great tacos, cold Dos Equis, and maybe even a sip of some fine tequila, then the Lou is calling your name. Come out to Jack's Beach and experience what many have dubbed the #1 taco in the 904. There are plenty of great taco joints in town, and we're proud to have been around for this long, and we have only you, the fine people of Jacksonville, to thank for helping us grow and become who we are today. Cheers to you, Jacksonville, and thank you from the Lou crew. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Hey, Hicken here for Zero Res. You know I love a good flash sale. Well, huge carpet flash sale ends this Thursday. Buy 2 rooms of carpet cleaning and get the 3rd room absolutely free. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels. Circa Resort and Casino has 2 epic pro football contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Circa Million, pick 5 games weekly against the spread for $1 million grand prize. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no spread. Last one standing wins $15 million. Enter at any Circa in Nevada, play anywhere. Sign up for either and get 50% off a 2-night stay. Helmets and Heels will be live from Circa in Vegas on August 22nd. Full contest details at circasports.com and the 1010XL homepage.
Mike Dempsey for Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacksonville Beach. If your roof's got any damage, if it leaks, if it's just old and ugly, call my friends at Apex Roofing. But Mike, roofs are so expensive. It's true, quality roofing is not cheap, but Apex Roofing has up to 100% financing available, so you don't have to compromise quality for budget. Apex Roofing, no shortcuts, no stress, just quality work with financing available. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacksonville Beach. ApexRoofingFL.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
John Oehser is good tonight till 9 o'clock. My favorite restaurant. Period. Blue Crab Crabbles. Right off of San Jose on Julington Creek. Tomorrow, I'll have a conversation with Jarian Jones. So that'll be pretty cool. He's played really well, including one of the highlights of camp, ripping that ball out yesterday from Brian Thomas Jr. That was sensational. All right, Dylan Denmark is always giving away prizes. What do you have for us today?
I got 4 tickets to the Jaguars' first preseason game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That game will be Saturday, August 9th at 7 p.m.
Wow. The Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Steel curtain. How many guys can you name off the steel curtain?
On the defense?
Way before you were born. 70s.
You got me and Joe Green. You got Jack Lambert.
Lambert was a linebacker. You got Green, right?
Then you have Jack Ham.
Jack Ham was a linebacker. All Hall of Famers.
You have Mel Blount on the outside.
Hall of Famers, a corner. Yeah, I mean, just Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. Mel Blount, one of the most physical corners of all time.
I feel like I'm missing someone on the defensive line that was really good.
Yeah, they were all good. It was L.C. Greenwood with me and Joe Green, Dwight White, and Earl Holmes with the 4, with the steel curtain. I still want the Jaguars someday to be so good and so mean that they can identify the offensive line. It's the defensive lines, right? Gang Green, the Purple People Eaters, the Steel Curtain.
I didn't know this from the ESPN 30 for 30, the New York Sack Exchange.
Oh, yeah.
From the Jets. I never knew about that until I was watching it the other day.
With Klecko and Gastineau. Yeah. You've had some phenomenal defensive lines, but outside of the Hogs, has there ever really been a great offensive line that has been labeled? The Hogs were incredible, right? I mean, no doubt about that. Joe Gibbs won, Super Bowls with, was it 3 different quarterbacks? Doug Williams, Joe Theismann. I think he won with Billy Kilmer. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. We're going way back when. All right, so let's do this. Speaking of way back when, how I'll let you ask the question since you came up with it. What do you got?
All right, so we all remember the Jags beat the Steelers back in 2007 in the regular season and the postseason. In that postseason, can you tell me who the leading rusher was for the Jaguars when they beat the Steelers in the playoff game in 2007?
Wow. I did not know this until you told me. But we'll take the first answer. 641-1010. You get an opportunity to talk with Dylan Denmark and get those 4 tickets. I mean, that's going to be right here. This is what? We have 1 day left in July, and then we get a scrimmage to begin things, which is just nuts in August. All right. It was finally announced today. I was like, where is it? What's taking so long? But they finally came forward with, announcing the preseason Atlantic Coast Conference standings, or, what they believe is actually, I guess the best way to describe it would be the predicted order of finish, the preseason media poll. And I didn't vote this year. I don't know why. I just didn't. Anyway, maybe I'll lose my vote. Maybe I won't. Clemson is expected number 1. No doubt about that. Miami at 2. SMU 3. Georgia Tech 4. Louisville 5. Duke 6. Florida State 7. Which is just, just terrible, okay? The Bill Belichick coach, North Carolina, Tar Heels at 8, Pitt at 9, NC State, Va-Tech, Syracuse are your top 12. Then it's BC, Virginia, California, Wake Forest, and Stanford. Those are your 17 teams. And that is the way that they are ranked. So I didn't think that there would be any argument whatsoever about, Miami being the number 2 team behind Clemson. Obviously, Clemson is one of 5 teams right now in college football that is favored in every one of their 12 games, and that includes over at LSU. For those of you who do not know, I'm actually going to go through this. I'm not going to have time to do it tonight. I want to get to some of your questions. Maybe I'll spend a little bit of time on it during tomorrow's program. But if you look at Clemson right now, they are favored in every game. All right. There's only 3 games they're not at least a 10-point favorite over. That includes the opener against LSU, where they're favored by 4, both Death Valleys. This one, as we know, is in Clemson, South Carolina. At Louisville is a -6. I want to say that might be a Friday night game. And then, Georgia Tech, -4.5. And I started looking at this, and I was like, really? You're trying to tell me that LSU at home, they're only a 4-point favorite over, yet they're only a 4.5-point favorite at Georgia Tech. So, Haynes King's a very impressive quarterback. And he's a guy that can beat you both ways. But a little bit surprised by that in the amount of love right now that Georgia Tech is actually getting. All right, let's see if we can get back to a few more of these, man. So many came in tonight, and I do appreciate it. There's no question about it. Oh, yeah, here's one. What is the ratio on defense? I haven't seen – that did not come out. All right? It came out offensively at, going from 18.8, which they did on the field a year ago, the projection 22.9. We do know that on the field last year, the Jaguars gave up 25.6 points a game. How many points can you take that down if you're scoring 23.8, which I wanted, or 22.9, which, is the projection? You obviously have to shave some points off of your defense, and no one's going to argue with that point. Last year, Jacksonville was 28th in points allowed at 25.6. Last year, Jacksonville was 31st in total yards allowed at 390 a game. Last year, Jacksonville was last in takeaways. All right, 8 by the defense, 1 on special teams, a minus 15 turnover to takeaway ratio, which is just staggering. It really is. And there's no doubt for anyone who's been out to camp so far, that is one of the most noticeable things. They are really doing whatever they can to work on taking the football away, which is kind of cool. I mean, that has to change. Let me slide on over here for a second and see what's going on the YouTube. All right, getting a lot of stuff in here on YouTube. Jags 30. Here's the Bigman says Jags going to put up 30 points a year, 30 points a game. Speed on speed, more speed, run the ball. 30 points a game. I mean, realistically, what are the chances of that happening? I think we had one team in the NFL that averaged 30 points a game. Let me see if I can find this.
Detroit had 33, Buffalo and Baltimore had 30.
Okay.
And Tampa had 29, along with Philadelphia.
Yeah, Tampa Bay up to 29 a year ago. What did Tampa Bay? Because Canellis did a nice job with them back in 2023. All right, they averaged 27 and a hook in 2023, and took it up to what was it? 29 point what?
29 flat.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have it. In 1 year. So points per game improved by only a couple, but obviously their rushing statistics were off the chart, as well as certainly what they were able to do in red zone. What's this guy asking me? I don't know the answer to that question. 0148, you need to improve footwork and mastery of the playbook. Don't want, need, nor spectacular until November. Get the ball to the playmakers. And your last sentence, that absolutely feels like that's been a huge part of the offseason. Yesterday we pointed out a couple of end-around runs by Brown. Some shorter stuff. Maybe the play of the day offensively was the red zone touchdown by Travis Hunter. And you're dead on the 0148. Not everything has to be the deep ball that we just talked about with Brown a few moments ago with John Oehser. More is just finding a way to get the football to these guys, because you got playmakers. You got players that can score, from anywhere on the football field. No doubt about that. 63-51 Ballou, 24.5 should wind up being a successful season I can dream of. You know what? That'd be an unbelievable number, 24.5. Going from 18.8 to 24.5. They're able to do something like that. No question. 95-99 Ballou, we have to score TDs or field goals every time. Well, that's unrealistic. But how about early in the first quarter? How about on your opening drive? I know Jacksonville had gone, 18 or 19 consecutive games before scoring a touchdown on their opening drive. I know Cohen last year, I talked to this about with Daniel Griffiths a little bit. Cohen had 10 games where they scored on their opening drive, but I don't believe it's 10 touchdowns. I think it's 10 times that they scored. That includes field goals. That's fine. I mean, give Jacksonville a 3-0 lead. How many times have you sat back and had a 3-0 lead around here for the last several years? It just never happens. So, yeah, you want 7, but if you can get 3, you'll take it to begin a football game. No doubt about it. All right, I do want to break in Raphael Esparza. I feel like I'm bringing him on. I only have a couple of minutes worth of his time, so I want to start to do a little bit better with that, as we've got so much to get into with Raphael Esparza, including preseason football, which begins tomorrow night. I believe I ask him this question yearly. At least I think I do, but why not? It seems like everything's changing now, particularly with live in-game betting. I mean, can you get a better feel for betting in-game on anything that's played? But what about something like special teams, or preseason football, where you're going to have ridiculous substitution that is going to take place on both sides. That is among the things we'll ask Raphael Esparza. He joins us on the other side.
Throughout history, significant numbers have made their mark on our minds. That includes sports and radio.
And this one's going to be 10-10.
10-10 XL.
Your grandfather was stronger at 50 than you are at 40. Want to know why? His testosterone was 30% higher than yours. That's not genetics. That's modern life killing your hormones. Stress, chemicals, sitting, it's all crushing your T levels. Male Excel reverses it. Prescription testosterone, thyroid optimization, personalized to you. Over 100,000 men are already winning again. Your turn. Try MaleExcel.com. Free assessment, because you deserve it. Your family deserves it.
If life blindsided you tomorrow, would your family struggle? I'm Cody with Harborstone Financial, and I can help. One call could protect your family for life. 904-885-9566. Harborstone Financial.
No matter what the reason, sending a floral arrangement from Kuhn Flowers always works. For unique and special gifts, visit their showroom on Beach Boulevard. E.T. here with 1010XL. Kuhn Flowers is my go-to, and it should be yours too. Online at KuhnFlowers.com.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you can really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beards Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beards, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range. Not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beards takes it a step farther with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beards Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time. Or alarm fired. From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Got a clogged drain that just won't quit? It's time to bring in the pros. Duck Duck Rooter.
I called Duck Duck Rooter for a clogged kitchen drain. They showed up fast and had it cleared in no time. No mess, no stress.
We've seen it all. Grease clogs, hairballs, mystery goo from the deep. Whatever's blocking your pipes, we'll get it flowing again. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule your drain cleaning service. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
Hey, Scarline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at atlanticinfinity.com.
Frank Franzi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
When storms start to crop up in the Atlantic or Gulf this time of year, having a solid plan to handle anything that sweeps through the First Coast is very important. That's where American Electrical comes in. Ensure your home's safety and comfort with an American Electrical home generator. As the area's leading home generator dealer and installer, American Electrical can offer you easy installation, simple maintenance, and peace of mind. Schedule an assessment by simply calling the team at American Electrical. They'll walk you through the best generator for your home or business. Log on, american-electrical.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and nonstop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
Jaguars off today, back at it tomorrow morning at the Miller Electric Center. That'll be early. I'll talk with second-year defensive back Jardian Jones after practice tomorrow. Then the scrimmage Friday night at the bank, at the stadium. We will get a couple of hours worth. It'll begin at 7. So I'll be on 6 to 7 Friday, then bomb over there to watch the scrimmage. We'll go to our Jaguars radio network. That'll be the process on Friday. The ACC announced their preseason media poll. Clemson 1, Miami 2, Florida State number 6 in the preseason poll.
Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Vegas, baby, Vegas! And as we bring in Raphael Esparza, the answer to the question, by the way, was David Garrard. How long did it take, Dylan, for people to get that
First
answer?
caller, first guess.
What do you have on that day? That was an impressive one,
58 yards. He had that long around 32.
Okay. And he was the leading rusher. Wow. Impressive.
Leading receiver was MJD. One catch for 42 yards. It was a struggle.
Yeah, it was. It was a defensive struggle, no doubt about it. What was the final of that game?
I think it was 31-29.
Yeah. Wow, it wasn't a defensive struggle. There were points.
Pittsburgh had 4 turnovers in that game.
That was 20 years ago or 19 years ago. That's amazing. It feels like it was. Well, I remember their game a few. In 18 was maybe Leonard Fournette's best game as a pro. I think it was 45-42, that playoff win in Pittsburgh. Raphael Esparza remembers that. How you doing, young man?
I probably do remember that because I was probably working that game and probably cashing out that game. So, yeah, it had probably significant in my life.
Mm-hmm. All right, good to hear. We're getting all of these, preseason college football conference meetings, the ACC last week, the Big Ten out in Vegas last week, the SEC the week prior in Atlanta. Has that amped things up a little bit as far as anything at the window college football related?
Yeah, I think with all the love that people are saying with Penn State and maybe a three-peat for the Big Ten, I think some SEC money's starting to come in. I mean, you can get Alabama anywhere between 10 to 11 to 1 to win it all. LSU anywhere between 15 to 17 to 1. I've seen some action on that one. I would say Clemson a little bit shocked that it got moved upwards. I've seen it as low as 8 to 1 maybe a couple of weeks ago. Now some shops have it at 10 to 1. Does that mean more Penn State and Georgia and Texas money is coming in and they're trying to lure people back into betting Clemson? So I'm a little bit shocked that I thought Clemson was going to be 8-9-1 by maybe week 1 kickoff. So seeing them double digits again, I think is kind of shocking.
Maybe the best definition of today's college football with the playoff is there's 5 schools right now, and I was going to get into this. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. 5 schools right now, Arizona State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, that have favored in every one of their games, yet Texas is the overall favorite to win the national title.
I mean, everyone keeps on asking, why is Texas, why is Manning all the love for Heisman? Because they're the Kool-Aid flavor of the summer. I mean, everything has been Texas, and I just think it's because of the last name on the jersey that we've been seeing of Manning. I think that's the only reason why I love it. I mean, I would still put, if I owned my own sports book, I would have Ohio State, Georgia 1 and 2, and then I would have Texas up there with Penn State and Clemson and Alabama. But right now, I just think all the love and tickets and money dictates that's why Texas is so much love.
Preseason tomorrow night. I mean, believe it or not, LAC in Detroit, they'll do it in Canton, Ohio. There used to be a time where the saying was, if you're betting on preseason football, you are a degenerate gambler. But now that times have changed, particularly with live in-game betting, how much activity do you expect tomorrow night?
Probably. Normally, a Hall of Fame game gets a lot of activity, and I'm kind of mad at Major League Baseball with only, I think, 4 games tomorrow. Because if there was a full slate of Major League Baseball and let's say 2 or 3 WNBA games, parlays would be going all over the place with Hall of Fame and baseball. With only 4 games in baseball, I'm sure a lot of sportsbooks are upset. But it's football, and it's going to be going against CFLK, Calgary versus Ottawa tomorrow. But a little bit shocked that people are betting this game over. Opened up at 32. There's a 33.5 over at FanDuel right now in offshore. So we could see a 34, which is very rare for a Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, and, I said that to Dylan earlier. I was like, oh, boy, 32, man, that looks over. The old adage is, if it looks low, play it low. But, this has got leave it alone written all over it, in my opinion.
I agree. I've never bet a Hall of Fame game. You can bet over under how many minutes I watched the game is over under 3.5 minutes. So I'll read the box score for a Hall of Fame game.
All right. Anything happen in baseball with the trade deadline, ahead of us? We've seen some teams that have been certainly very streaky as of late. I look at Toronto, who's won. I guess they've fallen apart here a little bit over the last couple of weeks, but I think they won 9 or 10 in a row. Houston's playing well. Detroit is playing well. Anything happening, change-wise here before the deadline?
A lot of Brewer love coming in and money, even though they lost today, but one of the hottest teams in the National League. Hats off to the Phillies. They make the biggest move. They get Duran from Minnesota as bullpen help, which the Phillies needed. So they make the big splash. Now everyone wants to know where Suarez is going and where the 2 pitchers that Arizona have. They're probably going to be dealt. I think everyone's eyes is in the desert. What's the Diamondbacks going to do?
Yeah. All right. We shall see. What else is going on in the world of wagering, Raphael Esparza?
We got SummerSlam this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Yes, you can bet on WWE, and yes, I do a lot of prop bets for WWE. That's Saturday and Sunday. Then you got UFC, Hall of Fame game tomorrow, CFL, Week 9 this week. So that's right, Week 9 in the CFL, but it's mostly baseball and a Hall of Fame. Next week, full slate of Week 1 preseason games.
What's the latest as far as your props? We know that the website has been taken down. Where are you going now where our listeners can find you?
Well, I do have a new show that you can find on Doc's Sports YouTube channel every Mondays and Fridays called Betting Outside the Box, which we talk about stuff that you can find in a lot of sports books, political, entertainment. Had a whole bunch of Happy Gilmore prop bets that we actually graded on last week's show since I've seen it before the movie came out. So we're going to be doing it that way. I'm still trying to find another home for that to have some stuff cooking, but we'll have something out soon.
I've heard both sides of Happy Gilmore, too. Thumbs up or down?
Thumbs down for me, and I'm actually a voter for the Razzie Awards. And as of right now, on July 30th, it'll be up there for one of my categories for the Razzie Awards.
Man, it's hard for sequels. I mean, The Godfather 2, the exception of the rule.
I agree. Empire Strikes Back. I mean, that's another one.
That was good.
He had over 70 cameos in Happy Gilmore 2.
Wow.
When you have that many cameos, that means the plot or the story written is not good.
Right. I actually thought Rocky 2 was good.
Ooh, You know what? Well played. Well played. I would agree with you, Rocky, too. Well played.
Now, our next host here, Ryan the Hacker Green, will tell us that Friday the 13th, Part 18 in 3D was a good film. So,
Jaws 2 wasn't that bad.
It was not. It was nothing compared to the original, but I actually thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, Jaws 3, if I was doing Razzies back then, it would have been worst film and worst cameo of a bad shark.
Was Jaws 3 when all of a sudden it became personal for Jaws? I mean, he had it, and he was searching out who he needed to maul, I think it was.
Yeah, he was looking for one certain family to get to eliminate. That's what Jaws 3 was. And it was in 3D. Don't forget, Jaws 3 was in 3D.
That's right. All right, Raphael. We'll pick it up next week. Thank you.
Take it easy.
There he goes. He is Raphael Esparza.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
You like seconds and thirds when it comes to movies. You like it in songs. I was at your wedding.
Yeah.
Simple Man. You had Shinedown.
Local band here in town. Obviously not Skynyrd, not the popularity of Skynyrd, but I did like the Shinedown Simple Man version.
I saw the old basis of Shinedown in Arnold's on Phillips Highway about 2 months ago. Both of us were 3 sheets to the wind.
I saw Happy Gilmore too, by the way, on Netflix. The nostalgia of it was cool. Yeah. If you're a fan of the original film, you'll appreciate all the flashbacks and nostalgia of it. And the first hour and 15 was actually pretty good. The last 40 minutes was horrific.
The worst sequel of all time is Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2 was pretty bad. Actually, you know what? For your generation, yes. I think for me, Independence Day 2 might be the worst movie ever made.
I don't know if I ever saw it.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I watched the original Independence Day and tried to erase the fact that they made whatever that god-awful sequel was, and I just try to think that never happened. It was that bad.
Godfather 2, many people believe it's better than the original because of the addition, obviously, of Robert De Niro. I thought Rocky 2 was a very good film. I thought Friday the 13th, Part 2. Was really good.
When it was actually Jason that was the killer instead of the mother. Real quick, because I know we're going to get into sports. You have Netflix, I presume.
I do.
There is a wrestling show that just dropped yesterday. It's called WWE Unreal.
How are you going to mention Berkowitz and his tapes coming up tonight?
No. They, on this show, take you behind the scenes into the writer's room. You want to talk about breaking kayfabe?
Oh, yeah.
I cannot believe the WWE did this. But I was enthralled. Like yesterday and today, I've watched the first 3 episodes. They tell you exactly how they do things. It is absolutely, if you've ever been a wrestling fan, it is wild how much they take you behind the curtain. They'll go over the gorilla position, what it is, why it's there. They'll have guys feuding out in the ring, and they'll come back and show on camera them like embracing, talking about how great it was. Man, if you're an old school wrestler or a wrestling fan, you might turn over in your grave when you see something like that. I was shocked when I was watching this, but it's getting a ton of views.
Yeah.
And it's a WWE produced thing.
The Berkowitz stuff comes out tonight as well.
Does it?
Yeah.
Got me all in for a good serial killer documentary.
Yep. So we'll see what happens there. Of course, they invented the David Berkowitz law, which, convicted felons cannot make any money off of books and things along those lines. But you obviously knew that as a serial killer historian.
I've said for many years, you and I should do a serial killer podcast here on 1010XL.
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it.
We could do an entire episode on Bundy, Dahmer, Gacy, Ramirez. I think that people would love to listen to that.
Is that your Rushmore?
My Rushmore of serial killers? I guess I've never thought of it.
How about Ed Gein, for crying out loud?
That's where Texas Chainsaw and Silence of the Lambs got based off of.
Right. Yeah.
See, this is episode 1 right here.
Right.
The Blue and Hacker serial
Green
killer.
River Killer, Gary Ridgway had most career kills, and no one knew about it because they were transient. They were prostitutes.
Bundy tried to remain alive so that he could help catch the Green River Killer. That was the excuse he was using because it was up in Seattle where Bundy was.
I got to bring up John Gacy, too, the clown killer. My year spent in Chicago was pretty fascinating.
This is the best radio I've heard all day.
Yeah, Denmark, you want to chime in with your favorite serial killer?
He's going to go local. He's going to go Florida. He's going to go Eileen Wuornos. We're all about diverse here. I mean, let's bring a woman serial killer into the conversation.
Yes.
I don't want to offend out there nowadays. I don't want to get canceled because I didn't mention Eileen Wuornos.
By the way, Netflix does have some ridiculously good serial killer documentaries.
They're the best.
They are really good.
Prime does a good job, too.
Yeah.
All right. That tonight?
Yeah, serial killers. We're going to take your calls. Who's your favorite one at 641-1010? No, I mean, obviously with the Jaguars being off today, we're going to do a lot of college talk tonight. Ari Wasserman of On3 released a thing. I don't know if you saw it. Biggest hot seats for coaches coming into 2025.
Yeah.
Had Billy Napier #1 in the country. So I'm going to have Ari on coming up here. #1 in the country, not the conference, the entire country.
I was actually surprised that I saw another list where he was ahead of Norvell.
Right. I just did a quick poll, like 150 people have respond to mine. Norvell was like at 69%, and Napier's 31%. But I'm going to have Ari Wasserman of On3 on, who put the list out. I'm going to ask him about why he has Napier #1, what his thoughts are on Norvell. Also, former Gator All-American tight end Ben Troop will join me to talk a little DJ Lagway injury status, a little Travis Hunter and the Jags as well.
Have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
That's going to do it for us. Thank you to John Oehser. Thank you to Raphael Esparza, Ted Bundy, Denny Rawling, Eileen Wuornos, John Gacy, Gary Ridgway, Jeffrey Dahmer, Richard Ramirez, Charles Manson. Buy me a beer, and I'll talk to you until I can't talk anymore. I'm just amazed by that. That's why I'm a criminology graduate. Wanted to get into forensics. Didn't work out that way. Instead, I talk sports, and I wouldn't have it any other way. 6 to 8 nightly for Dylan Denmark. I am the truth teller, Rick Ballou. You have a great night.